In those early days, it was, like I said, we bought a truckload of lumber and we put a little ad in the newspaper. We started selling lumber. So we just wanted to make a profit, doing something. And we bought an old shear and an old press brake that was in really bad shape. We started making steel parts with that old shear and that old press brake.
My first memory at Willbanks would probably be learning curse words in Spanish. Yeah. Driving a truck at the age of 17. I did have my driver's license. Driving an entire summer from to each customer and delivering steel to those guys. That was a lot of fun just to get on the road. It was certainly a little intimidating, hauling around 20, 30,000 pounds of steel. So
I would show up at 7 a.m. and my granddad would say, wait till so-and-so's here and he'll instruct you on what to do. So like I would sit there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and like I would just be twiddling my thumbs. And then he'd get there, and again, I'm like 14 years old, and he'd put me on this lift and put me like 20 feet up in the air, and I'd be drilling in panels into the side of a beam.
Unfortunately, the first memory I have of Willbanks is showing up to work on the first day with a big burn mark on my forehead. So I really looked eminently professional and ready to rock as a 20-something kid.
I was around when the fax was invented. That was amazing to me. See a picture come across a machine with a drawing on it. That was just mind-boggling, because otherwise we mailed it back and forth, or we had to run it over to the person, the customer, or they brought us a little sketch by hand.
It's funny, we had a printer, a huge printer in the center, and we had one outgoing and one incoming fax. So we had 2 fax lines and everyone shared them. Yes, everyone in sales.
We used to handwrite everything when I started, whether it was orders and, oh yeah, we were losing orders left and right just because we, the wind took the paper or something, so.
And then when Mr. Willbanks got his first computer, he said, Larry, I want you to come in the office and you can be my inventory control specialist. So he sat down with me and taught me actually how to run the computer and how to do inventory control. And that was 1980.
When I started, we were on the AS400, which was kind of old analog system, and now we're on Stratix, which is just kind of like the Cadillac of the steel systems. But anyway, we went from having to pick everything by hand as far as MTRs and invoices and everything out of a drawer to being able to get everything online. And then just all of our new equipment is really neat. I love our new building and our new red bed and just the flatness of the steel that we're shipping out. And of course, I love processing. That's kind of my thing. And so adding the 2 new kinetics and being able to do big, heavy base plates, it's been a lot of fun.
Obviously, the investments we've made have been focused on new cut-to-length lines and really meeting customer demand on material quality for flatness, and laser flat material is a key item in this market especially.
The inquiries that I'm seeing now have pretty much doubled for me with this new decooling line. And just the quality, the flatness that people are looking for is going to set us, 1 tier above everyone else.
Your customers now, they're so much more advanced. So the complexity of the parts is also changing, which is again why we have to invest in CAD technicians and guys who really know what they're doing on that side. Now they kind of want you to handle everything to where when they get it, it's just ready to be assembled and go. So that's definitely one of the biggest things that I've seen change, which is why we added like the robo crane, was to do complex bending that you just cannot do with two guys in a typical break. We're having to just meet that demand, which is why we added the tube lasers as well, is because there is such a need for that from our customer base. That's been a huge shift in just 20 years.
So adding this, it was a no-brainer for us, being more value-added centric. We certainly want to add even more to that, but when we talk about customers and who could use it, it's everyone. Everyone that buys structural angle iron or channel or tubing could all utilize our services.
Our granddad and dad were obviously the most influential. We tell people all the time that the way we learned business was through sayings of our granddad, and then our dad just kind of showing us little nuances to the business that only those guys could have showed us. But a lot of other individuals who were a part of that, and still are, some of them still are, that we just need to acknowledge because they've been such a significant person, not only for Ryan and I, but for this organization for a long time.
And it'd be impossible to name all those folks by a specific name, but there are several that really stood out to us and had a lot of influence, teaching us how to operate and understand the business better. I mean, having folks like Larry King still around. I mean, Larry's known me longer than I've known me, literally, and been with the company for over 47 years. It warms my heart when I walk in on a Monday morning and he's here. And somebody that's been here that long and has seen that much and knows this much about the industry is certainly a huge advantage for us. And when we can say we've got folks that have been here for over 4, almost 5 decades is quite extraordinary.
You would take him as kind of like this grumpy, like brash kind of guy, but he's really not that at all. He's actually like super friendly, just sympathetic, kind. Yeah, just a really great individual.
Deeply cares for people.
And that's why so many of these customers love him, is because that's the way he really is. I remember as a kid, he'd come across that way and it was really intimidating. But getting to know him, I mean, he couldn't be more kind of an individual.
He's the grumpy old man, so it's hard to answer that question. He's very customer oriented. He wants to make sure he's getting back to you quickly, giving you the best price and getting the orders out the door on a timely manner. From working together, I would say we have a really good friendship, and there's a few of us that go to lunch on a regular basis, especially after our Monday meetings, and he's one of those people that I would consider a friend.
Jesse's been with us for forever.
About the same amount of time.
40 years plus. I remember one of the helpers, I was like 16, and they just literally handed me a welding rod and a welding helmet and said, go weld this. And Jesse freaked out because he was like, what the heck? And I was like literally welding, and it probably looked awful. And Jesse like stopped the whole thing and chewed this guy out, and it was like, Eric, you're never gonna weld again. And that was the end of that story. But yeah, Jesse's been with us forever. He's still working out there with us, and just another great man who's always here, consistent, steady, wonderful guy. So
Michael O'Brien, been with us now for forever, as long as I've been here. And always got a smile on his face, always cheery. And
he used to take his ponytail and tuck it up in his hard hat. And I remember the first time he took his hard hat off, he's got this big old ponytail. And I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, and then now he'll go from like bearded to shaved. And it always throws me off too when he does that. But
yeah, me too.
Great guy, been with us forever. He's one of our drivers. Yeah, couldn't ask for a better guy. I think he was 17, 18 and came from Whataburger, where he was literally like one of the cooks to us driving a forklift. And now he's our VP of production. And that was just kind of one of those things where he always excelled wherever he was. And it was recognized by, the leader in the group he was in or by one of us. And COVID was where he really shined. He just kind of, we were faced with what looked like an impossible problem. And Diego was the one that really grabbed everyone together, got everyone on the same page. And we really excelled through that time because of him, and what the work was that he did here every day, despite all the challenges that we were faced with in that 2-year period. He's our VP of production. Incredible guy, solid.
Always up for the challenge.
Yeah, always up for the challenge, and is always producing results that are beyond my expectations. He was working for a competitor, and he called and just said he was looking for a change. We hired him as a sales guy. He started in sales. And Kyle's one of those guys, literally, I think he has done everything at this company, from sales to IT, CAD. He was our CFO. Now he's our COO. So, I mean, you name it, he's been involved with every aspect of this business for 20 years now. Yeah, nearly 20 years. And he's really, Ryan and I, he's kind of our unsung hero, that really has kind of kept a lot of the wheels on, so to speak, and made this place really run alongside Ryan and I for a long time now.
Yeah, certainly stepped up the game at Willbanks. Like Eric said, he's done so much and has such a deep understanding of our industry and what we can offer, and has taken it to that next level. He's somebody definitely has taken it to that more of a professional level. From a IT perspective, actually having an order acknowledgement and him being a part of, writing those processes, putting those into place. So absolutely, unsung hero is a great way to look at Kyle.
Gosh, when I think of Jim Ely, he was one of the most instrumental figures in the organization for so long. He was really my granddad and dad's right-hand man for the vast majority of what was really about 40 years. Very process-oriented, helped us understand how to grow, how to do things correctly. Just an incredible, unique individual that meant so much to the organization long-term. On top of that, I mean, he was really the guy that, for Ryan and I both, we spent the most of our time with him in our early years, where we learned a lot. He taught me everything from CAD to sales to HR, payroll, everything. He was the guy that I spent so much time with in the early days of my career, and even back to my teenage years. He was kind of the Swiss Army knife of executives, and he could easily toggle between the sales side, the HR side. He was the one that really was innovative and pushed us to get more into computers and what AutoCAD was doing and how we could process material three-dimensionally. I mean, he was the guy that really got us going down that path. Just an incredible brain that he had, and so much influence in our organization that he was constantly giving everyone there all the time. But yeah, he truly was the guy that advanced us technologically, advanced us in the market, created processes and systems around it. He was truly the man that put the bones of the company together, so to speak. And then you have Joe Culpepper. He was our VP of accounting and finance for several decades. Worked with my dad and granddad, same thing. I mean, just unsung hero, always there every day, taking care of all of the things that need to be taken care of. He was just such a great background support. And really for you and I too. I mean, he really helped us, specifically me, on just the accounting side and understanding what was happening on that side, being patient, working with me. But he was also a great extra pair of eyes on, I remember him looking at invoices all the time and working with sales to make sure that pricing was accurate, things were going the way they were supposed to. And just another great man that was a part of this organization for a long time that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. and gratitude.
One of my biggest mentors was Randy Bottomley. He was in sales. He was a plant manager and VP at one point. I always kind of grew under him. I always wanted the opportunities. Hey, let me be your assistant. Let me help you out. So I became an assistant, and he mentored me along the way.
Randy was with us for 40 years.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think he did just dang near everything for this company.
Yeah.
We had a real good employee that I hired in 1979. His name was Randy Bottomley. And Randy was a forklift driver for a local steel company, and I hired him to drive a forklift. And he eventually became the shop foreman, but he was very dedicated, very hard worker.
Always there, always, in the mix, working on things, reliable, consistent. Just another great man as a part of this organization for a really long time.
Yeah, always early, always stayed late.
Yeah.
Had a true passion for this company and its success.
Yeah. Just a really, really great part of this group for a long time.
Yeah.
Danny has been another guy who's just stepped up to the plate with anything that's happening. He's kind of like the dad now of the group. So he kind of helps us all think more clearly about what we're doing. Because Ryan and I still have enough youth in us to where we're dumb at times. And Danny's just always been such a solid rock of an individual to just help steer us down some paths where we need to go. And just a great, great guy to be on the team.
Well, and he does it with a lot of fun. Danny's typically the one that's sending out a funny meme, keeping it light, joking around with people and kind of cutting on as guys do, right? Just prodding and, one way we tell each other love each other is make fun of each other, right? So that's certainly, this kind of sums up Danny and how he keeps things fun around here.
We call her just the pro. She's such a pro, so hardworking and diligent, and such a helpful person on our team. I feel like she's always pushing us to do better and to think about the market, where it's going, what to do, how to participate. Such a major part of our team who's done so much good for us in the years she's been here.
Yeah, I'd say challenges us with a smile.
Yeah.
And that's certainly something that's, she's just such a blessing. I don't know how else to put it. She's just a blessing to our team.
My granddad, literally, he was worked at the bank that he would make his deposits, our cash deposits. My granddad talked me into working with us 2005, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And he started in inside sales. He's done credit management. Now he does outside sales for us. And he's been with us for nearly 20 years. And just another individual who is just an incredible part of the group. He's probably got the most vibrant personality. And our customers just love him. And we love having him a part of this group as well.
Yeah, very relationally driven.
Yeah.
Knows half of Fort Worth. And there's not a customer that's ever going to say something bad about Robert.
Yeah.
I had a great deal of respect for the people who came before me and laid the foundation for this business and built it up and carved out a place in a market. It's a competitive market. So your Joe Culpepper, Jim Ely, Randy Bottomley, Larry King, who's still with us, Paula Reed. These names are people that they're very dear to me. Those are the names I think about. It's just the people who carved out our spot for us, that we get the opportunity now to dive in and keep growing and see how far we can stretch our legs.
What has to be stated always is that this organization is a lot of people, and it's really them that have made this what it is today. Sometimes Ryan and I often reflect on why would anyone want to work for us or work with us? We're so grateful that these folks want to work with us and want to work here And gosh, I'd say now we probably have the best team that I've ever seen. And some of the best people out there are working with us now. And I'm more confident in who we are now as a team than I think ever before. And that's one of the most exciting things looking ahead, is knowing the group that has been assembled here and what each individual is capable of, but more so what we're capable of as a team.
To be real honest, I'm just kidding. Everyone's got a different background. Everyone has different strengths, whether it's, our cut to length or fabrication. So the dynamic and the relationships here are everyone is very respectful in regards to their strengths. And that's where we all come together to help each other out.
Willbanks Metals is a big company, but it's got a small company feel to it. The staff is really close. We work together. That goes from the ownership to the sales team to the production team. Everybody here is really close, and we get along great.
One of the first projects that I worked on with Willbanks was a new ERP implementation. So we selected an ERP and we ground away at it for a couple of years trying to get it going. It was an unsuccessful implementation. And at the same time, the Willbanks staff was very tenured and was a lot of people that had been there for 10, 15, 20 years already. And, I was the new kid and, the guy banging his head against the wall. But I showed up one day and a couple of the sales staff, the tenured sales staff that I'd always wondered, whether I was accepted or not. I showed up and there's a handle of Weller bourbon sitting there on my desk with a little note like, sorry for all the headaches on the ERP. And just that one gesture was pretty special, just to just to know that you'd been seen and maybe in some way accepted by the old crew who had noticed and tried to extend a kind gesture. It was nice to instead of rolling out the red carpet on the exit door, that they were saying, we understand, it's we get it, we're with you.
The main thing is customer service and being honest, with your customers. And we just wanted to be fair and honest, trustworthy, and it paid off.
I really have gained a real appreciation for what our granddad and dad did, of just kind of keeping the wheels on the car and do what we do best.
Yeah, keeping it simple is certainly.
We talk about keeping it simple all the time now.
Yeah, our granddad used to say that the bigger the elephant, the harder they fall.
Yeah,
and it also takes a lot of peanuts to feed that elephant. So it's certainly those are sayings that now are sticking with us.
Yeah,
knowing the wisdom that comes behind those words.
Yeah, our customers have always kind of led us down the path of knowing what to invest in. And it's really them that bring us, to the next round of investment and advancement that we need to embark upon. So that's always been the case and will continue to be the case. And, Ryan and I spend a lot of time talking about our customers and what their needs are, what their desires are. How do we meet those demands all the time?
We've tried several different ways to do jobs here, to do parts for customers, but we've decided that the best way to do is listen to customers what they need and focus on that.
If the customer needs 14 feet between the housings, then we need to have 3 press brakes that have 14 feet between the housings. We're very aggressive with attacking customer needs. It keeps you on your toes for sure, because you're always bringing on something new. But that's part of what keeps it fun as well, and always learning and growing and improving. That will always be core focus to meet the needs of the customer. That's why we're here.
So what do I look forward to in the future at Willbanks? What I don't know is coming. We're always trying to listen to our customers and see what they want. And that's what's exciting about Willbanks is we're always trying to stay ahead of our competition and keep up with our customers' needs.
Well, the future progress of Willbanks will be marked by growth. We're looking to double our tonnage just from what we did last year in 2022. We're targeting at least doubling it by 2024, 25. We're very confident that we'll be able to get there. We've actually already got a lot of the way there just in 2023 on the old asset base. It's going to be a challenge, but it's one that we are eager to tackle and excited about the future.
I can't believe it's been 50 years since this thing started. I haven't been on the earth as long as 50 years, but still, it's incredible. It's been around that long. And very much looking forward to seeing what the next 50 years brings. And I'm looking forward to just seeing where the market takes us and how this grows and changes. And it certainly will. If there's anything we've known, it's that things are always evolving, always changing, and never sit still.
Yeah, it is hard to believe that this company's been around for 50 years and been literally right here where we sit, and been somewhat of a light to this community. And we have folks that literally walk to work, and it's really neat that we've got folks like Diego Balderas that worked at a Whataburger across the street before he came here. The success only comes from our employees and the relationships that's bound together with our customers and suppliers and other stakeholders. So it's neat to think about the thousands of people that it's touched here in the community, and we hope that that's going to further here in the next 50 years.
Yeah, I love the advancement we're doing by adding here on the north side of Fort Worth, adding 14 more acres, 150,000 more square feet, another 50 jobs that we're bringing right here to the north side of Fort Worth. We're really proud of that. We're really excited about that just completely becoming everything we dreamed for it to be. It's effectively going to double the volume of this business, and very excited to see everything that brings, but especially just for this community and the north side of Fort Worth that we are very much a part of, and that we love and are passionate about.
To add more jobs, more opportunities, a higher quality product is very exciting.
I just see this place as a place of opportunity. They've given the opportunity to anybody, so there's really no such thing as tenured comes first. It's whoever wants it, whoever needs it, whoever for grabs. They give the opportunity to anybody. So that's really what I like about this place. So I think we're gonna grow. We've just purchased another property across the street, more machinery. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a dirt property in 10-15 years, and just grow on efficiency and machinery and personnel as well. So I can see us getting more automated, robotic, all that good stuff down the road. So
our goal in the future moving forward is really to have a company that takes great care of their customers. So our investments, our production, our thoughts, everything is geared towards that. Our customers are what make us who we are, and we're here to take care of them in any way we can.